in person and online, distinguished private sector NGOs, civil society development partners, GEF implementing agencies, CEOs, directors, presidents of environmental organizations, project managers and coordinators, project focal points, members of the media and the technical support team, Grenada's valued stakeholders in person and online, all pleasant morning. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this historic gathering. Today marks an important milestone in Grenada's environmental journey as we come together to chart our path forward with the Global Environment Facility. I'm Isabel Morris and I'll be your moderator for today's sessions. I invite you to stand as we reverence the Almighty Father. And in reverence, you can bow your head, close your eyes, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Creator of life, we gather here today with humble hearts and shared purpose. As stewards of this precious earth, we seek wisdom to protect the forests that breathe before us, the waters that sustain us, and the soil that nourishes us, everything that gives life. Guide our conversations over these 3 days. May our words bridge differences, our ideas spark solutions, and our commitments lead to lasting action. Help us remember that we are only human, but we are one human family sharing one planet Earth home. Grant us the courage to make difficult decisions, the vision to see beyond today's challenges, and the strength to leave a thriving world for generations yet to come. May this national dialogue bear fruit in decisions that heal our earth and practices that honor all creation. Bless us all. Amen. I invite you to remain standing for the national anthem. Thank you. And we're putting our hands together not for the national anthem only, but for great talent. Thank you very much. I now invite you to have your seats. Thank you. To begin our formal proceedings, I'm honored to introduce our GEF operational focal point, Permanent Secretary within the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation, who will provide our opening remarks, Mrs. Nicole Clark-Gurley. Thank you.
I would like to stand on protocol already established, but let me recognize the presence of GEF Political Focal Point, Honorable Andy Williams, Minister for Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Climate Resilience, Ms. Perron Johnson, and every other invitees who took the opportunity to be here this morning. Good morning. Right. Welcome to this pivotal moment in Grenada's environmental future. Today, Grenada recognizes the vital work of the Global Environment Facility, and we are here to collectively chart the way forward. We have had the opportunity to program 8 allocation of Jeff Star resources, providing essential support to Grenada's resilience to climate change impacts and preservation and development of our environment and its vital ecosystems. These resources represent our collective commitment to transforming how we protect our environment while simultaneously building resilience for our people. For the next 3 days, the question that should be guiding our discourse is, how do we ensure that every dollar we program creates lasting change that the next generation will thank us for? Over the past Jeff cycles, we have learned valuable lessons, some through success, others through challenges that have made us stronger and wiser. Our integrated landscape for climate resilience agriculture and soil care Phase 1 projects have shown us the advantages of aligning global environmental goals with local priorities. However, we have also seen how easily good intentions can fall short with a proper coordination and stakeholder engagement. Today, we are not just going to discuss projects, we are also designing Grenada's environmental legacy. The outcomes of this dialogue will provide valuable insights and guidance that will be used to inform transformative initiatives. Therefore, I challenge each of you to think beyond your sectoral boundaries. Agriculture sector representatives, consider how your work intersects with tourism. Our private sector colleagues, envision how environmental solutions can drive economic opportunities. Our civil society partners help us ensure no community is left behind. As the question isn't whether Grenada needs environmental action, climate change has already answered that for us. The question is, how can Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitimatnik program resources that address our most pressing challenges while building the sustainable future we all want? The national dialogue represents our commitment to getting this right, not just for Jeff 8 and the previous cycles, but as we prepare for Jeff 9 and beyond. Let's make these 3 days count. Let's engage in fruitful discussions, forge stronger partnerships, and emerge from this dialogue with clarity, unity, and a shared vision that will transform how Grenada approaches global environmental challenges. Thank you, and let's begin this important work together.
Thank you very much, P.S. Clark-Gurley, our Jeff Operational Focal Point. I'll keep reminding us that she's the Jeff Operational Focal Point, so that later on in the program and throughout the proceedings over the next 3 days, we'll understand the importance of knowing that. So thank you very much, P.S., for those insightful opening words. Now I am pleased to introduce Naomi Hernandez from the Jeff Secretariat, who will share welcome remarks from the Global Environmental Facility. Naomi is the Secretary to the Jeff Council and Senior Country Officer. I'm not going to say her entire name again. She has joined the Jeff in May 2024 and as Secretary to the Jeff Council and Senior Country Officer for Latin America and the Caribbean. Something we might hear over the next 3 days, person saying LAC or person say LAC, all right? Prior to her current position, she served as coordinator for financial mechanisms and markets of the World Wildlife Fund. Previously, She dedicated nearly 6 years as Director for Multilateral Organizations and Bilateral Cooperation in the Mexican Ministry of Finance, where she managed the ministry's diplomatic relations. Within this tenure, she also acted as council member to the Global Environment Facility, GEF, and the National Designated Authority to the Green Climate Fund and Adaptation Fund. At the same time, she represented Mexico in the G20 Sustainable Finance Working Group and served as Deputy Sherpa in the Coalition of Finance Ministers for Climate Action. Her career journey also includes a 2-year stint in the Mexican Ministry of Social Development, where she managed to contribute to international initiatives to reduce poverty. Her international experience extends to working at the Mexican Embassy in Morocco. For 2 years, she wrote a weekly column on a local newspaper in Mexico where she discussed international affairs. Her academic qualifications include a master's degree in political economy from the University of Essex and a bachelor's degree in international relations from the Monterey Institute of Technology and Higher Education. Ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together and welcome the Secretary to the GEF Council and Senior Country Officer, Ms. Naomi Hernandez. Naomi.
Thank you very much, Isabel, for these warm introductions. So, honorable ministers of the cabinet, our GEF political focal point, Honorable Andy Williams, Minister of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation, Permanent Secretaries, GEF operational focal point, PS Nicole Clark, distinguished guests and esteemed colleagues. It is my great honor to welcome you all on behalf of the Global Environment Facility, the GEF, to this national dialogue. What a beautiful way to start this meeting with the live anthem. Thank you for motivating us with such beauty. We stand here today reminded of Grenada's unique position as a biodiversity hotspot in the Caribbean. Allow me to say that this is my first time in Grenada, and I am in awe of its beauty. And with my GEF colleagues, we are privileged to have experienced it in the last days. This mighty island is home to diverse marine ecosystems, lush forests, and a myriad of wildlife. These unique species and habitats contribute to the ecological wealth that defines Grenada. And it is not just a national treasure, but a global one. However, the richness of Grenada's environment, as P.S. Clark mentioned some minutes ago, are not immune to threats. Pollution, coastal erosion, and unsustainable practices pose significant challenges to the ecosystems. The preservation of Grenada's environment is an imperative, but not a task you should undertake alone. The GEF plays a pivotal role in addressing the world's most pressing environmental challenges, with the core mission to help ensure the protection and sustainable use of ecosystem and resources upon which all life depends. Since the GEF inception, the small island developing states have been leading the change on addressing critical environmental issues. The GEF is proud to partner with six governments, communities, and civil society organizations to support your environmental priorities. We recognize the vital role of the seeds in shaping a sustainable future for our planet. In this regard, the GEF has provided $2.5 billion in grants, which have leveraged over $18 billion in co-financing for over 1,000 projects. In Grenada, GEF projects approved since our sixth replenishment aim to restore and improve practices in 5,000 hectares of land. mitigate greenhouse gas emissions in 400,000 of million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent, and to benefit 3.1 thousand people in the country. The national dialogue you will be engaging in over the next 3 days is one of the key mechanisms that the GEF is implementing at the country level to enable national partners to make the best decisions and use of the GEF funding available to you. We therefore encourage Grenada to continue engaging with the GEF to access more resources and expertise that can enhance your environmental initiatives and contribute to global efforts. We are delighted to have you all with us today, and we acknowledge your exemplary leadership and unwavering commitment to sustainable development and environmental protection. Thank you, P.S. Clark, for challenging us in your opening remarks. We take your word. Let us all move forward with optimism and determination, knowing that the future of Grenada's environment is in our hands. Thank you, and enjoy the national dialogue.
Thank you very much, Naomi. That was our secretary to the GEF Council and the senior country officer. And I want to put forward that she has been very, very helpful. Technical support, assistance, whenever we need her, she's always there. She's just a WhatsApp away, a phone call away, an email away. And not only her, her entire team, I should say. But a few of the GEF persons who are here today, they have been very, very helpful. And I just want to put that out there. So once again, thank you, Naomi. I want us to recognize the presence, of course they were here and they stepped out, of Honorable Lennox Andrew and P.S. Javan Williams of the Ministry of Blue Economy and Affairs. So we did recognize them earlier, but we're so happy to have you, Minister and P.S. Thank you. So before we continue with our in-person remarks, we have the privilege of hearing directly from the GEF CEO, Mr. Carlos Manuel Rodriguez, through a special video message. So the technical team is going to pull that up for us while they're going to pull up the presentation for us while I introduce us to the CEO and chairperson of the Global Environment Facility. The CEO is a lawyer by profession, politician by choice, and conservationist at heart. Mr. Carlos Manuel Rodriguez was elected as CEO and chairperson of the Global Environment Facility by its governing body, the GEF Council, in June 2020. The former Costa Rican Environment and Energy Minister was a pioneer in the development of payment for ecosystem services, initiatives, and strategies for forest restoration, ocean conservation, and decarbonization, and is an internationally recognized expert on environmental policy, multilateral environment negotiations, and financing for nature conservation. During his 3-year term as Minister of Environment and Energy, Costa Rica doubled the size of its forests, made its electric sector 100% clean and renewable, and consolidated a national park system that has positioned the Central American country as a prime ecotourism destination. Rodriguez has held various technical and political positions over the past 30 years. In the early 1990s, he worked as director of Costa Rica's National Park Service and is also founder and board member of many environmental NGOs and tropical research institutes. Since the 1992 UN Sustainable Development Summit in Rio, he has participated in all multilateral environment negotiations as an expert negotiator in the UNFCCC, CBD, and UNCCD. I know that I'm speaking acronyms, and we're going to learn all about these later on. He participated in negotiations for the creation and implementation of the GEF and the Green Climate Fund. After his second tenure as minister, He was Vice President for Global Policy and Conservation International for 12 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I can go on and on about the CEO, but we're now going to switch to the video where we get to hear some remarks.
To everyone, my name is Carlos Manuel Rodriguez, CEO of the Global Environment Facility. As you gathered today for this important national dialogue, I want to highlight Grenada's remarkable progress in environmental policies and initiatives. Your proactive approach to environmental stewardship exemplifies the power of collective action and underscores the importance of prioritizing on our planet health. I'm also very excited about the continued collaboration between Grenada and the GEF. Together we can address global environmental challenges that affect us all and look forward to our joint effort to create a sustainable future for future generations to come. This national dialogue is a key mechanism at the country level that enables our partners, national partners, to make the best use of the GEF funding available to you all. To all the national stakeholders here today, I want to emphasize the critical and unique role each of you plays in ensuring the sustainable use and conservation of Grenada's natural resources. Your endeavors in implementing local environmental initiatives that align with global goals are vital in driving progress, ensuring sustainable development, and improving the quality of life for all citizens. Thank you, and I wish you all a productive and inspiring dialogue.
Okay, so I cannot say thank you to him in person, but I would like the GEF Secretariat and the persons online to convey our thanks for this inspiring message. As usual, at every GEF event, the CEO always brings remarks, and he encourages us to use the facility, use it to the best of our ability, optimize the use of the resources, get to know what is happening. So I would like you to convey our thanks from Grenada. I will now like to invite Permanent Secretary within the Ministry of Climate Resilience, and I will tell you what is happening shortly. Within the Ministry of Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, P.S. Perrin-Johnson. Now she is going to make some remarks on behalf of the Minister. And I want you to know that when she arrived here this morning, I told her that Minister has an engagement, and so I literally placed her on the spot. So we want to say thank you just before she comes up here, but I know that she will bring us some remarks, all right? That will be appropriate. P.S. Johnson. P.S. Perrin-Johnson, welcome to the microphone, and thank you.
A pleasant good morning to everyone. Pleasant good morning to everyone. We are alive, even if we are celebrating Hurricane's Beryl 1-year anniversary. It could have been otherwise, so we need to be happy and sprightly that we have calm, beautiful sunshine and a really nice day today. So please permit me to recognize the presence of the Honorable Minister Andy Williams, the GEF Political Focal Point, and the Minister responsible for mobilization, implementation, and transformation. And may I add, the Minister also responsible for this constituency, the Great North. Oh, sorry, the Great South. I just wanted to make sure that he is awake, all right? I also want to recognize Minister Lennox Andrews, Minister responsible for economic development and many other things, the blue economy, agriculture, and many other things. Minister, welcome. And I also want to recognize my two PS colleagues, PS Clark Gurley and PS Javon Williams, and to all other senior government officials, NGO representative, GEF colleagues, our colleagues from GIS, and everyone, a pleasant good morning to you all. It is certainly a pleasure for me to bring you some very brief remarks. I was told no more than 5 minutes, but I want to make the point that I am very, very, very happy that we are here, because sometimes we say ministers are traveling and officers are traveling too much. And if Minister Williams remember, we traveled to a Jeff dialogue a couple of years ago, maybe about 2 years ago. And I remember Minister saying, P.S., I must go back with something, you know. I must go back with something. And, you know, I'm just saying that to say is that if we do not sit around the table and be part of the dialogue, borrowing the words of Honorable Mia Motley, we will be part of the menu. So it was through that our engagement that we would have indicated to Jeff that Grenada wanted to have something like this. And I think it is very timely. Don't you think so? On the day of Hurricane Beryl, we are starting this activity. So this dialogue, I will say, is very pivotal in the moment of Grenada. As we continue to confront the stark realities of climate change, biodiversity loss, land degradation, and pollution, the need to strengthen our capacity to mobilize, manage, but may I add, most importantly, absorb the financial resources that can help us to chart a more resilient and sustainable path has never been greater. This dialogue is also especially timely as it complements key national processes now on the way. For example, we are at the process of finalizing the revision of our National Adaptation Plan, which soon will be published to guide our climate resilience efforts. We have successfully completed our National Ecosystem Assessment, providing what I consider to be evidence-based foundation for protecting and restoring our natural system that supports our well-being and, by extension, our economic development and transformation. We are also advancing the revision of Grenada's National Climate Change Policy alongside work on our Energy Efficiency Act and our revised energy policy. All of these are to ensure that we have the required legislative and policy framework that are fully aligned with our vision of low carbon and climate resilient future. All of these efforts, may I add, come at a time when Grenada is also preparing its biennial transparency report and its National Determined Contribution NDC 3.0. Importantly, we are ensuring that these efforts are inclusive and representative. Only last week, for example, the ministry engaged our nation's youth in dialogue on climate change and the critical role that they also have to play in such efforts. These engagements demonstrate our firm commitment to building solutions through broad-based participation, and we are demonstrating that we are not operating in silos. Against this backdrop, the primary aim of this dialogue is therefore clear: to allow us to improve Grenada's ability to program and manage GEF resources while using increasing national awareness of the facility's immense potential. As we are all aware, GEF has been a long-standing partner and very critical partner to Grenada, providing substantial support to both adaptation and mitigation efforts through various funding envelopes. From climate-smart agriculture to biodiversity conservation and coastal resilience, GEF financing has helped us advance solutions to the environmental challenges in many ways. So, colleagues, this dialogue represents more than just a technical exercise. I consider it to be a very strategic opportunity to align GEF financing with Grenada's development priorities and our evolving national framework. It is a platform to foster meaningful partnership across sectors, across communities, and across generations. Your participation here and over the next 2 days will be instrumental in helping us craft project pipeline that not only addresses environmental challenges, but also drives inclusive growth, support livelihoods, and safeguard the future for our people. Let us therefore approach this dialogue with ambition, with focus, with a shared commitment to build a better Grenada for today and for the next generation to come as we seek to create harmony with nature while focusing on sustainable development. I thank you.
Thank you very much, P.S. Perrin-Johnson, and I think she did a wonderful job. I am not going to repeat all that she said, but I like the fact that we would have got some reiteration on the fact that the Jeff facility has been around, has been working for Grenada for the longest while. We should seize the opportunity. We're hearing that over and over. We've also been introduced to what is happening within the Ministry of Climate Resilience at this point in time. And later on in the dialogue, we are going to get some presentations from the ministry as to what has been happening. So this dialogue, it unites, it helps us to integrate our efforts, as was now expressed. Thank you once again, P.S. Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to invite to the podium Honorable Minister Williams, our Jeff operational focal point, Minister within the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation, to bring us some remarks. Minister Williams.
Good morning to everyone. Good morning to everyone. No. That's not how we do it in the Great South. Good morning to everyone. South side, no north side, no east side, just south side. Minister Lennox Andrews, Minister for Economic Development, the blue economy, and a whole pile of things behind it. Let me just say that Minister Lennox Andrews was my economics teacher in SGU, so normally I call him teacher. PSs, Johnson, Williams, Clark, distinguished guests, colleagues, partners, it is my honor to welcome you to this pivotal Jeff Country Dialogue for Grenada. An urgent and timely gathering made more meaningful in the light of Hurricane Beryl devastating impact in 2024. Some say that climate change is not real. Last year, on this day, we had Hurricane Beryl hitting Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Martinique. To this point, we still have parts of the island that is not fully recovered yet from Hurricane Beryl. This powerful storm illustrated our nation stands on the front lines of climate change, exposing our vulnerabilities and testing our resilience. Yet, it also spotlighted our resolve and capacity for adaptation. Today's dialogue is not merely a discussion. It is our collective opportunity to turn hard lessons into lasting solutions. Together, with the Jeff support, we have the chance to fortify Grenada's natural capital, scale climate-smart initiatives, and strengthen our pathways towards a durable and sustainable future. And I'm struck by a profound reality. We hold in our hands both an unprecedented opportunity and an undeniable responsibility. When strategically deployed, the opportunities that we have can catalyze transformational change across our climate, biodiversity, and land degradation challenges. But let me be clear. This is not simply about accessing funds. This is about fundamentally reimagining how we approach environmental stewardship in Grenada. The responsibility weighs equally heavy. Every dollar we program, every project we design, every partnership we forge must answer a critical question. Are we building the Grenada our children and the next generation deserve? Over the next 3 days, we will move beyond traditional silos. The Ministry of Finance will and must sit alongside our fisher folks. Our youth organizations will and must dialogue with development banks. Our private sector will and must collaborate with our conservation groups. This convergence is not coincidental. It is essential. Why? Because environmental challenges do not recognize institutional boundaries. Coastal erosion does not stop at ministry lines. Climate change does not pause for bureaucratic processes. Biodiversity loss doesn't wait for perfect coordination. As a Jeff political focal point, I challenge each and every one of you to think bigger than your usual mandate. Ask yourselves, how can my institution, my expertise, my network become part of Grenada's environmental solution? We have learned valuable lessons from our climate-resilient agriculture and soil care projects. Some initiatives exceeded expectations. Others taught us hard truths about implementation realities. And today, we must harness both our successes and our setbacks to chart a more effective path forward. The world is watching small island developing states like ours, not as victims of climate change, but as laboratories of innovation, resilience, and hope. Grenada has the opportunity to demonstrate that smart environmental programming, coupled with multi-stakeholder engagement, can deliver results that ripple far beyond our shores. So let us use these few days wisely. Let us debate with passion, listen with purpose, and commit with conviction. Let us ensure that when we reconvene for GEF 9 programming, we do so with a shared vision, aligned with priorities and the unwavering determination to make environmental protection synonymous with national development. The future of Grenada's environment begins with discussion, with the decisions we make in this room, starting today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Williams, our Jeff political focal point. I just want to highlight two of the things that he said. We have in our hands, and I'm not quoting, but I'm highlighting, so I may not get it exactly as he had it, but we have in our hands an unprecedented opportunity and an undeniable responsibility, opportunity and responsibility. He also encouraged that we are here not to be victims of what is happening, but Grenada is expected to be part of the creation of solutions, and being a small island state is not an excuse. He also asked us, how can our institution, how does what we know, our expertise, our network become part of Grenada's environmental solution? So as we go through these 3 days, let us keep in mind all of the encouragement, all of the advice, all of the reminders that have been presented with us here today. So before we move to our next session, I invite you to put on your best smiles and posture. As a photographer takes some photos. So you just smile, even if you think about something nice, even if you, maybe you're not in that space. Think about the opportunities that we're going to be having under the Jeff facility. The photographer is all happy and he's waving and so on. He's excited to take those photos. So you hold your head up nicely, you smile. Maybe you can say hello to somebody. Any instructions for us?
No, just to clarify, if you see the camera pointed at you, smile, no pressure.
Okay. Just smile. Okay, so our job is only to smile, all right? No pressure. So you should be practicing your smiles. Okay. Okay, so while you're smiling and the camera men are coming around and taking those lovely photos, we just want to say thank you to all our distinguished speakers for setting the stage for a productive dialogue. As we transition into the technical aspects of our discussion, I want to encourage you to be very participative, to be attentive, to be participative, and be attentive. Okay? Oh, thank you. Yes. So let us dive into the heart of our dialogue. We're going to begin with understanding using Jeff 8's programming direction and how it aligns with Grenada's environmental priorities. So I'll now hand over to Naomi Hernandez. We've already introduced her. So she's going to begin with a comprehensive overview of the Jeff 8 and the programming alignment. Naomi.
Thank you, Isabel, for the great moderation and for guiding us through this dialogue. So, I don't think that the clicker is working, so if you can help me, please, with the next slide. Oh, I need to point there. Okay, no. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I think that now it's working. Yeah, okay. So let's start first with a quick run-through of what is ahead of us in the next couple of days. So as it has been mentioned, we will have a 3-day national dialogue, 2 days of more like technical discussion and a third one for the field trip. If you haven't yet registered for the field trip, I invite you to do so probably during lunch or any coffee break. Feel free to reach out to us on that interest. So today, we already went through session 1, which is the opening and the welcome remarks. Now we're diving into session 2, where we will provide a quick introduction of what is the Jeff, what's the programming that we're currently pursuing in this 8th replenishment, and we will also dig into the project cycle. We will have a coffee break to allow you all to process the information. And then we will come back to discuss on Jeff 8 policies. We will have a very dynamic session on the small grant programs. We will have a lunch, and then another session on the Jeff focal points, because you have been listening political focal point, operational focal point, but what does that actually mean? What's the roles, what are the responsibilities, and how can you interact with them? And then you are all invited to a nice reception and networking later today. The second day will start with a very dynamic panel with the participation of various ministers as well, where we will be discussing on the blended finance window that the GEF has and the role of the private sector. Then the government will be presenting the environmental agenda that they're currently pursuing in Grenada. Then session number 7 will dive into results and lessons learned of the GEF. So it's basically to stop and assess what are the current projects, how can they be improved, where are the good practices, where are the opportunities, and there we will need the help of you all to allow us to understand that. And then we will have some breakout rooms, breakout groups, I would say, where you will all be invited to actually present some proposals, some ideas of how Grenada can move forward with GEF 9. And then a very exciting moment, the launch of the International Steering Committee, which we are very excited, as well as a very good practice. The third day, as I mentioned, is the field visit. There will be 3 site visits of different GEF projects in Grenada. So soil care project and to a CRA project. So there will be buses provided departing here from the Radisson, but you will have to register there so we know that you're coming and that we have enough food for everyone. So again, a quick reminder for you all to register.